Lee, congratulations on The Hole in the Ground.
Thank you very much, man. It's very kind of you.
Yes, this is probably the first great scary movie of 2019 in my book.
Well, that's an exciting thing to hear. It's early in the year, so I hope it still lasts the pace as the year goes by. But it's nice at how people are responding to the film so far. It's really great.
Now, what is the inspiration behind the story?
The inspiration came from like a number of different places. Really, it was the I suppose the fear that you could get from the idea of a sinkhole maybe collapsing beneath your feet or being on the fringes of your life. They're kind of a scary, unknown, dark place. And then also this idea I had of a story between a mother and son and the mistrust that may exist between them after a traumatic experience in their life, how they had to kind of rebuild their life together. So it was the combination of those two things. And what I thought was a kick-ass title, actually, The Hole in the Ground, is a big, brave title to put in a movie. And it was kind of, it was the combination of those things that kind of brought it together.
Talk a bit about the casting, because these are great group of actors. James Quinn, James Cosmos, of course, from Game of Thrones, and Shauna. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, it was a different process. It's for each role that we needed to fulfill, it was a different process. With Shauna, she was actually the only actress I met for the role, and I offered it to her right away. I thought she wasn't what I was looking for, but when I met her, not that she had to convince me, I just felt that she was different and a unique kind of horror mother character. She had a very different personality, and I felt like it would really assist in the kind of story I was trying to tell. And then with young James, who was playing the character of Chris, it was a wider search. When you're working with young performers, you need to kind of see and visit a lot of different kids and get to know their personalities and how they operate and how they work. But he was always in the race all the time and had a great ability to, I guess, turn it on and off in a lot of ways, but to do that with subtlety. And then with James Cosmo, it was really an actor I'd always loved and was in my mind, and thought he could bring the kind of the humanity to that Des character, and the kind of a certain kind of sad heart, which I thought he carried really, really well. So he's a great guy to work with.
I'm a big fan of horror films, and in this genre, we're very familiar with possession stories or such like it. So how do you make sure your script or The Hole in the Ground kind of stand out in this genre?
I think you just try and trust your instinct, is what I always say. You just and there's times when people might view that and go, oh, I've seen this before. But for me, if it feels like a unique take in terms of how I present it or how I shoot it, I think it really is an instinct thing. And you try and combine your influences with your own fresh ideas, and then try and position them within your story in a way that it all feels like its own thing, and trying to rack up that tension. But it is, going back on that word again, I just trust my instinct. If it feels right and it feels scary, or it feels like the correct moment or the right way to play around with one of the genre tropes, I just kind of jump in and go for it, really.
Was there a filmmaker or specific films that influence this story?
I think there's style. I think there's the films there's the filmmakers and the films that influence me from the get-go. So I was a child of Spielberg for sure, and although this is a darker film, I think there's some little sprigs of his influence in there. Also, I would have, The Shining is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think there's a couple of small references in the film that people can see. Also, Polanski's Apartment trilogy, Rosemary's Baby was a movie we talked about quite a lot in the production of it. So, and certainly some of that more psychological horror from the 70s, that kind of space, was stuff that we talked about, and we kind of rewatched and discussed, and I think it's okay to wear your influences on your sleeve. It's about how you kind of use them that makes it unique, I think.
Now, I talk about this with Shauna, and she's a fantastic actress in the film. She's not a mother in real life, but she plays really well in the film. What does this movie say about single parenthood?
How challenging it can be, in truth, and how the future can be quite a terrifying place depending on what's there. And I think not only just for parenthood, but for anybody, the sinkhole reflecting the unknown future. But if you're a parent that's made a move with your kid and you're looking forwards, that can be dark. But what's great about the character of Sarah in the film is she takes on the darkness and she defeats that. Despite the fact that in the end of the film, she still has some doubts and worries. She's still a human being, but she has also taken on the darkness and kind of, as that single parent driven forwards.
Bird's eye view question. This is an Irish film. Where's the Irish film in the overall filmmaking industry these days, do you think?
I think it's growing all the time. I think there's been great support financially for talent development over the years. It takes time to develop talent. So I think the industry is for the last decade, it's really been on the rise, and there's a lot of new voices kind of coming out of Ireland. So it's nice to see the small island making a bit of a global impression.
And what's on your horizon? What's coming up next?
rest, recuperation. No, yeah, I'm working on a couple of other projects, you know, within the genre mystery, horror, thriller kind of space. So one in particular called Box of Bones, which may be the next one to go. But also working on a couple of other projects as well, and on a TV project. So just trying to capitalize on the debut being out there. People seem to be receiving it warmly. So I will take all of that goodwill and hopefully turn it into the next project.
But not the hole in the ground too.
I don't think so. No, maybe not. Maybe a prequel story about the Norian character would be something I'd be interested in. But right now I'm looking to push out, play around with the themes that I like, but tell a brand new story.
Mommy, where are you?